Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the stream. Today, we're doing a book club. We're reading Atomic Habits again. We're going to continue from where we left off at last time. All right. Stopped at page 30. So let's pull up right now. Alrighty. Page 30, chat. Okay, so the topic of this page is 3 layers of behavior change. We're actually on page 31 because I think I read page 30. Identity is about what you believe when it comes to building habits that last. When it comes to building a system of 1% improvements, the problem is not that one level is better or worse than another. All levels of change are useful in their own way. The problem is the direction of change. Many people begin the process of changing their habits by focusing on what they want to achieve. This leads us to outcome-based habits. The alternative is to build identity-based habits. With this approach, we start by focusing on who we wish to become. Actually, we're on page 40. The Apple Music. What's up?
Bruh, get rid of it.
Why?
Alright, me and Eli gonna go do it, alright?
That's fine. Go ahead. We're actually on page 40. I forgot to update that. So we're going to read from page 40 to 50 today. Page 40, chat. I'm the kind of teacher who stands up for her students. I'm the kind of doctor who gives each patient the time and empathy they need. I'm the kind of manager who advocates for her employees. Once you have a handle on the type of person you want to be, you can begin taking small steps to reinforce your desired identity. I have a friend who lost over 100 pounds by asking herself, what would a healthy person do? All day long, she would use this question as a guide. Would a healthy person walk or take a cab? Would a healthy person order a burrito or a salad? She figured if she acted like a healthy person long enough, eventually she would become that person. She was right. The concept of identity-based habits is our first introduction to another key theme in this book, which is feedback loops. And your identity shapes your habits. And you need tissue. It's a two-way street. The formation of all habits is a feedback loop, a concept we will explore in depth in the next chapter. But it's important to let your values, principles, and identity drive the loop rather than your results. The focus should always become on becoming that type of person, not getting a particular outcome. The real reason habits matter. Identity change is the North Star of habit change. Let me take note of that right there. Identity change is the North Star of habit change. Drag that down there. The remainder of this book will provide you with step-by-step instructions on how to build better habits in yourself, your family, your team, your company, and anywhere else you wish. But the true question is, are you becoming the type of person you want to become? The first step is not what or how, but who. You need to know who you want to be. Otherwise, your quest for change is like a boat without a rudder, and that's why we are starting here. Atomic. You have the power to change your beliefs about yourself. Your identity is not set in stone. You have a choice in every moment. You can choose the identity you want to reinforce today with the habits you choose today. And this brings us to the deeper purpose of this book and the real reason habits matter. Building better habits isn't about littering your day with life hacks. It's not about flossing one tooth each night, or taking a cold shower each morning, or wearing the same outfit each day. It's not about achieving external measures of success like earning more money, losing weight, or reducing stress. Habits can help you achieve all of these things, but fundamentally they are not about having something. They are about becoming someone. Ultimately, your habits matter because they help you become the type of person you wish to be. Hold up, chat. Hold up 1 second. I need a tissue. If I could find one. Give me a second. We are back.
I'm fragging out right now. Prezi, bro. Oh my goodness, man. I'm a demon right now. Oh my goodness. Bro, I am destroying right now.
Alright. I'm back, chat. Let me get comfortable. Let's get back into it. We're around this section, but fundamentally they're not about having something. They are about becoming someone. Ultimately, your habits matter because they help you become the type of person you wish to be. They are the channel through which you develop your deepest beliefs about yourself. Quite literally, you become your habits.
Grab my card. You can pick up my card.
There are 3 levels of change: outcome change, process change, outcome change, process change, and identity change. The most effective way to change your habits is to focus not on what you want to achieve, but on who you wish to become. Hi viewers, welcome to the stream. Happy to have you guys here. There are 3 levels of change: outcome change, process change, and identity change. The most effective way to change your habits is to focus not on what you want to achieve, but on who you wish to become. Your identity emerges out of your habits. Every action is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Becoming the best version of yourself requires you to continuously edit your beliefs and to upgrade and expand your identity. The real reason habits matter is not because they can get you better results, although they can do that, but because they can change your beliefs about yourself. Alright, we're on chapter 3. How to build better habits in 4 simple steps. Sheesh. Let me show you. We made it to chapter 3. We moving and we zooming. In 1989, a psychologist named Edward Thorndike conducted an experiment that would lay the foundation. Hey, that music was loud, at least for me. Psychologist named Edward Thorndike conducted an experiment that would lay the foundation for our understanding of how habits form and the rules that guide our behavior. Thorndike was interested in studying the behavior of animals, and he started by working with cats. He would place each cat inside a device known as a puzzle box. The box was designed so that the cat could escape through a door by some simple act, such as pulling at a loop of cord, pressing a lever, or stepping on a platform. For example, one box contained a lever that, when pressed, would open a door on the side of the box. Once the door had been opened, the cat could dart out and run over to a bowl of food. Most cats wanted to escape as soon as they were placed inside the box. They would poke their nose into the corners, stick their paws through openings, and claw at loose objects. After a few minutes of exploration, the cats would happen to press the magical lever, the door would open, and they would escape. Thorndike tracked the behavior of each cat across many trials. In the beginning, we're on page 44. In the beginning, the animals moved around the box at random. But as soon as the lever had been pressed and the door opened, the process of learning began. Gradually, each cat learned to associate the action of pressing the lever with the reward of escaping the box and getting to the food. After 20 to 30 trials, this behavior became so automatic and habitual that the cat could escape within a few seconds. For example, Thorndike noted, Cat 12 took the following times to perform the act: 160 seconds, 30 seconds, 90 seconds, 60, 15, 28, 20, 30, 22, 11, 15, 20, 12, 10, 14, 10, 8, 8, 5, 10, 8, 6, 6, 7. During the first 3 trials, the cat escaped an average of 1.5 minutes. During the last 3 trials, it escaped in an average of 6.3 seconds. With practice, each cat made fewer errors, and their actions became quicker and more automatic. But then repeat the same mistakes, the cat began to cut straight to the solution. From his studies, Thorndike described the learning process by stating, behaviors followed by satisfying consequences tend to be repeated, and those that produce unpleasant consequences are less likely to be repeated. His work provides the perfect starting point for discussing how habits form in our own lives. It also provides answers to some fundamental questions like, what are habits and why does the brain bother building them at all? I see. Something to note. Let me write this down. Hold up, chat. Behaviors. There it is. Behaviors followed by satisfying consequences tend to be repeated, and those that produce unpleasant consequences are less likely to be repeated. Alright. Now, next, what is this? Subheading, subtitle? Why your brain builds habits. A habit is a behavior that has been repeated enough times to become automatic. The process of habit. Let me know if you guys can hear me good, just in case, because I'm kind of far from the mic, or farther than usual. A habit is a behavior that has been repeated enough times to become automatic. The process of habit formation begins with trial and error. Whenever you encounter a new situation in life, your brain has to make a decision. How do I respond to this? The first time you come across a problem, you're not sure how to solve it. Like Thorndike's cat, you're just trying things out to see what works. Neurological activity in the brain is high during this period. You are carefully analyzing the situation and making conscious decisions about how to act. You're taking in tons of new information and trying to make sense of it all. The brain is busy learning the most effective course of action. Occasionally, like a cat pressing on a lever, you stumble across a solution. You're feeling anxious, and you discover that going for a run calms you down. You're mentally exhausted from a long day of work, and you learn that playing video games relaxes you. You're exploring, and then a reward. After you stumble upon an unexpected reward, you alter your strategy for the next time. Your brain immediately begins to catalog the events that preceded the reward. Wait a minute, that felt good. What did I do right before that? This is the feedback loop behind all human behavior. Try, fail, learn. Try differently. With practice, the useless movements fade away and the useful actions get reinforced. That's a habit formation. Beautiful. That's a habit forming. I read that wrong. Whenever you face a problem repeatedly, your brain begins to automate the process of solving it. Your habits are just a series of automatic solutions that solve the problems and stresses you face regularly. As behavior scientist Jason Hera writes, habits are simply reliable solutions to recurring problems in our environment. As habits are created, the level of activity in the brain decreases. You learn to lock in on the cues that predict success and tune out everything else. When a similar situation arises in the future, you know exactly what to look for. There's no longer a need to analyze every angle of a situation. Your brain skips the process of trial and error and creates a mental rule. Then that. These cognitive scripts can be followed automatically whenever the situation is appropriate. Now, whenever you feel stress, you get the itch to run. As soon as you walk in the door from work, you grab the video game controller. A choice that once required effort is now automatic. A habit has been created. Habits are mental shortcuts learned from experience. In a sense, a habit is just a memory of the steps you previously followed to solve a problem in the past. Whenever the conditions are right, you can draw on this memory and automatically apply the same solution. The primary reason the brain remembers the past is to better predict what will work in the future. Habit formation is incredibly useful because the conscious mind is the bottleneck of the brain. You can only pay attention to one problem at a time. As a result, your brain is always working to preserve your conscious attention for whatever task is most essential. Whenever possible, the conscious mind likes to pawn off tasks to the non-conscious mind to do automatically. This is precisely what happens when a habit is formed. Habits reduce cognitive load and free up mental capacity so you can allocate your attention to other tasks. Habits are mental shortcuts learned from experience. Hold up, Chad. You need to take note of this. This book is spinning facts about habits. Habits are mental shortcuts learned from experience.
Get him,
And the conscious mind pawns off tasks. Non-conscious mind.
Oh, right here. There's another guy. Oh, crap. I need help.
That's what happens when a habit is formed. Despite their efficiency, some people still wonder about the benefits of habits. The argument goes like this: will habits make my life dull? I don't want to pigeonhole myself into a lifestyle I don't enjoy. Doesn't so much routine take away the vibrancy and spontaneity of life? New words, chat. Crazy. Hardly. Such questions set up a false dichotomy. Dichotomy. They make you think that you have to choose between building habits and attaining freedom. In reality, the two complement each other. Habits do not restrict freedom, they create it. In fact, the people who don't have their habits handled are often the ones with the least amount of freedom. Without good financial habits, you will always be struggling for the next dollar. Without good health habits, you will always seem to be short on energy. Without good learning habits, you will always feel like you're behind the curve. If you're always being forced to make decisions about simple tasks, when should I work out? Where do I go to write? When do I pay the bills? Then you have less time for freedom. It's only by making the fundamentals of life easier that you can create the mental space needed for free thinking and creativity.
Watch the man. Look. Right here. Light him up.
Let me write that down too, because that's facts. It's only by making the fundamentals of life easier that you can create the mental space needed for free thinking and creativity. Conversely, when you have your habits dialed in and the basics of life are handled and done, your mind is free to focus on new challenges and master the next set of problems. Building habits in the present allows you to do more of what you want in the future. The process of building a habit can be divided into 4 simple steps: cue, craving, response, and reward. Cue, craving, response, and reward. Breaking it down into these fundamental parts can help us understand what a habit is, how it works, and how to improve it. Number 1 is cue, number 2 is craving, number 3 is response, number 4 is reward. And all of that takes time. This 4-step pattern is the backbone of every habit, and your brain runs through these steps in the same order each time.
There I go. That's a tank. Where's the tank? Let's go. All we gotta do is deposit that last 10,000 cash.
Hold up, chat. This 4-step pattern is the backbone of every habit, and your brain runs through these 4 steps. Same order each time. First, there is the cue. The cue triggers your brain to initiate a page 48 behavior. It is a bit of information that predicts a reward. Our prehistoric ancestors were paying attention to cues that signal the location of primary rewards like food, water, sex. Today we spend most of our time learning cues that predict secondary rewards like money, fame and power and status, praise and approval, love and friendship, or a sense of personal satisfaction. Of course, these pursuits also indirectly improve our odds of survival and reproduction, which is the deeper motive behind everything we do. Your mind is continuously analyzing your internal and external environment for hints of where rewards are located, because the cue is the first indication that we're close to a reward. It naturally leads to a craving. Cravings are the second step, and they are the motivational force behind every habit. Without some level of motivation or desire, without craving a change, we have no reason to act. What you crave is not the habit itself, but the change in state it delivers. You do not crave smoking a cigarette. You crave the feeling of relief it provides. You are not motivated by brushing your teeth, but rather by the feeling of a clean mouth. You do not want to turn on the television. You want to be entertained. Every craving is linked to a desire to change your internal state. This is an important point that we will discuss in detail later.
Come on, we gotta go to the cash out. No.
So he's describing the cue and the craving here. Craving is the second step. They're the motivational force behind every habit. Every craving is linked to a desire to change your internal state. Every craving is linked to a desire to change.
Oh my goodness, bro! I
your
gotta real quick.
Internal state. Cravings differ from person to person. In theory, any piece of information could trigger a craving, but in practice, people are not motivated by the same cues. For a gambler, the sound of slot machines can be a potent trigger that sparks an intense wave of desire. For someone who rarely gambles, the jingles and chimes of the casino are just background noise. Cues are meaningless until they are interpreted. The thoughts, feelings, and emotions of the observer are what transform a cue into a craving. Third step is response. The response is the actual habit you perform, which can take the form of a thought or an action. Where the response occurs depends on how motivated you are and how much friction is associated with the behavior. If a particular action requires more physical or mental effort than you are willing to expand, then you won't do it. Your response also depends on your ability. It sounds simple, but a habit can occur only if you are capable of doing it. If you want to dunk a basketball but can't jump high enough to reach the hoop, well, you're out of luck. Finally, the response delivers a reward. Rewards are the end goal of every habit. The cue is about noticing the reward. The craving is about wanting the reward. The response is about obtaining the reward. We chase rewards because they serve 2 purposes. They satisfy us and they teach us. The first purpose of rewards is to satisfy your cravings. Yes, rewards provide benefits on their own. Food and water deliver the energy you need to survive. Getting a promotion brings more money and respect. Getting in shape improves your health and your dating prospects. But the more immediate benefits is that rewards satisfy your cravings to eat or to gain status or to win approval. At least for a moment, rewards deliver contentment and relief from craving. Second, rewards teach us which actions are worth remembering in the future. Your brain is a reward detector. As you go about your life, your sensory nervous system is continuously monitoring Which actions satisfy your desires and deliver pleasure? Feelings of pleasure and disappointment are part of the feedback mechanism that helps your brain distinguish useful actions from useless ones. Rewards close the feedback loop and complete the habit cycle. If a behavior is insufficient in any of the 4 stages, it will not become a habit. Eliminate the cue and your habit will never start. Reduce the craving and you won't experience enough motivation to act. Make the behavior difficult and you won't be able to do it. And if the reward fails to satisfy your desire, then you'll have no reason to do it again in the future. Without the first 3 steps, a behavior will not occur. Without all 4, a behavior will not be repeated. In summary, the cue triggers a craving, which motivates a response, which provides a reward, which satisfies the craving, and ultimately becomes associated with the cue. Together, these 4 steps form a neurological feedback loop. Cue, craving, response, reward. Beautiful. And you have an image of it. Cue, craving, response, and reward. And we're on page 50, which means book club is over for today. Then we go more into detail in the next few pages. But that's it for today. And I'm going to be playing the finals with my brother. I don't know if y'all know what that is. Gotta find out. We ended off on page 50, which means next time I read, it'll be from page 50 to 60. 10 pages, y'all.